I'm trying to understand how Eminem takes a knee at the Super Bowl performance, Brother Quinn. The rest of them don't take a knee. You got five black performers.
I brought that up Monday,
nobody take a knee. The white boy takes a damn knee. That's a travesty, man.
I brought that up Monday, man.
That's a travesty. Eminem took a knee. Snoop ain't take no knee. Mary ain't take no knee. Dre ain't take no knee.
It got by so many people, they didn't even notice that it happened.
I know. Yeah. I know.
I've had an opportunity to talk to this brother once before, and I'm telling you, blew me away. I'm talking about this guy. The keynote speaker is DrUmarJohnson, who is a certified school psychologist, a doctor of clinical psychology, and an author. I know why. Psychology is his thing. This man got a mind and can get your mind right if need be, all right? So let me just say to all of you all, please welcome the one and only DrUmarJohnson. Dr. Johnson, how are you feeling today, sir?
Peace and Pan-Africanism. Good Garvey Day to all my brothers and sisters here in Shreveport. Glad to be back.
Absolutely glad to have you back in the city. And it's always good to know that we have someone in our community who don't mind speaking truth to power, but doing it in a profound and very educated way. And Dr. Johnson, I just want to say thank you for being a voice, not just, you know, in our country, but in our world. You're celebrated everywhere. Everybody loves the work that you do. So again, I want to say thank you for what you do. Now, Dr. Johnson, you're here, and you're here in the city to be a part of the State of Black Shreveport. And their theme this year in the State of Black Shreveport is dealing with social justice reform. What do you think about that, Dr. Johnson?
Social justice reform is a very important issue in our community. And I think that when we talk about social justice reform, we also have to look at reforming our own approach to the treatment that we receive from the power structures in the various cities where we live. In other words, a lot of what we suffer from is made worse by the fact that we do not push back, that we do not fight back, that we make it easy for oppression to operate by doing nothing about it. The great Frederick Douglass said, those who are whipped the easiest will be whipped the most.
Woo, woo, woo. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Y'all see what I'm talking about? Listen. But Dr. Johnson, I got to say this to you. How much do you know about Shreveport? What do you know about Shreveport?
I'm learning. I've been studying ever since my first visit a few weeks ago on January the 30th. On my drive up from DeSoto, Texas, where I spoke the night before, I made it my responsibility to get online and learn as much as I could about Shreveport, the history, the culture, and more important, the current dynamics and challenges.
And what have you gathered thus far, just based off your, I know it hasn't been a huge observation, but just based off what you've observed previously in this city?
Well, what I've observed was that Shreveport is pretty much structured like a slave plantation where most of the black people are in the field and only a few are in the house, and white people still running the entire show. That's what it appears to be.
So how do you, let me ask you this question. How do you solve a problem where you have a majority population of African Americans and where they have population power, but no economic power?
Organization is the first stage. The Honorable Marcus Garvey said the greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture said that if you organize a little, you'll get a little done. If you organize some, you'll get some done. But if you don't organize at all, you don't get anything done. And I would argue that our condition as a community is largely dependent upon psychological helplessness. It is dependent upon political apathy, and it is dependent upon social indifference. So we have to wake up the sleeping masses. And the way to do that is by letting them know that by organizing, we can begin to address many of the concerns that are relevant in their lives. So we have to wake them up, shake them up. We have to organize, we have to galvanize, and we have to mobilize.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, he just gave us some strategies, and if you don't know how to take notes in school, or you may not know how to take notes in church, or wherever you learn how to take notes, he just gave us 3 practical points that I'm telling you it is important that we must really hear. But the main thing that he said is organize. Now, I got something to say about that, and I got a question for him. You've traveled all over the world, and you've spoken in so many places, and of course, you've always spoken to our community. From what you've seen abroad and what you've seen here, can you tell us what are some of the things that get in our way of becoming an organized people?
I think one of those things can be religious differences. Obviously, religion in and of itself is not the problem. It's how we use it. And when I travel the world, I find that there's a lot of brothers and sisters who believe that they cannot organize with people who don't pray the way that they do or believe the way that they do. So we have to understand the challenges that face African people, American African people, transcend our religious beliefs, and that if we really believe in a supreme being, we should have no trouble working with other brothers and sisters who were likewise created by that same supreme being. So we have to be able to respect each other's religion, respect those differences, agree to disagree spiritually, but politically and economically, we must be united as one fist.
Wow, that is absolutely phenomenal. And let me just say to all of you all, Dr. Johnson is not only a celebrated speaker, but he's also an author. Dr. Johnson, can you talk about your book real quick?
Yes, sir. Black Parent Advocate, 500-page book that I wrote. Very proud of it, that helps parents respond effectively to the many tricks and tactics that public schools use to try to special educate, medicate, and evaluate children unnecessarily and prematurely. And so by reading that book, a lot of parents here in Shreveport and throughout Louisiana will be in a much better position to advocate for their child.
Wow. How can people get, some people may not make it tomorrow, but how can people get their hands on that book?
They can order them from my website, DrUmarJohnson.com. And to your listeners who live in Savannah, Georgia, I'll be there on Wednesday the 23rd, in Jacksonville, Florida on Thursday the 24th.
Wow, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Johnson has taken time to sit with us today. I know he is going to be moving around the city all day today, and not only he's going to be moving today, but he's even going to be moving through the city tomorrow. And let me just say to all of you that are listening to me right now that we definitely need to pick up the phone and we need to call and we need to find out more information about where he is and on his calendar and things he's doing, because we want to be a blessing to what it is that he's doing. Now, he spoke about one of the things that keeps us disorganized is some of our religious differences. And when he said that really pressed upon me, because a lot of us don't come together because we are afraid of what each other believe. And that is something that I'm not here to try to be, the person that's speaking. This is Dr. Umar. That's what he's here to do. But Dr. Umar, can you go back to that real quick? Because I know there's probably 100 pastors that's listening right now. I know we have, if I don't know anybody else is listening, I know pastors are listening right now. Can you elaborate on that a little more and expound? Because some pastor may need to hear that revelation that you have as it relates to religious differences.
Absolutely. And when we look particularly at the black church within the African-American community, one of the things that I have seen that have also contributed to us not working together is even when pastors are religiously homogenous, they agree on the spiritual system, they can also still end up being at odds because they're fighting for membership. They want to increase the congregation. So sometimes the need to want to have the biggest church or a better church prevents them from working with another pastor who may be just as effective as they are. And then you also have to talk about the money tree. Wow. And so a lot of pastors will also fight over each other or with each other because they want to make sure that they are not in any way undermining the collection plate on Sunday. So we have to stop putting the money before the progress of the people, and we have to stop putting the size of the congregation before the progress of the people. Wow.
I mean, when this guy speaks, it's just like the statements are so plain, the statements are so direct, the statements are so you just can't come back and rebut. Dr. Johnson, growing up, were you a part of any type of debate team or anything like that?
No, sir. Black history class in 4th and 5th grade, 6th grade, I found out I was related to Frederick Douglass, and the rest was history.
That's all you need. You just need a connection. I'm just saying, and you can hear all of it in his voice.
I heard you talking over there when you told them they were still enslaved. I said, oh Lord, it's my 4 5 Ricks that have more on I-20 right there. Like, oh Lord, they still got me. I thought I got away. I said, oh, I gotta mess with it with a video on that one. Hold on 1 second, sir. Hold on.
Cut it out, Brother Quinn. Cut it out.
Because each one of them go take at least about 30 minutes. We wouldn't want to shortchange anything with anybody. You know what I'm saying? No, it's all good.
But you know what I love about the radio interviews, Brother Quinn?
Come on.
They force you to consolidate your message.
yes.
You follow me? It's an exercise in verbal efficiency.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, and you use the word efficiency on my side of it. If I'm trying to teach someone, I would call that word economy.
Yes, sir.
Because at the end of the day, you know, it's about getting your point that you thought you wanted to make. See, I said that?
Yes, sir.
But unfortunately, time ain't on your side.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So you realize real quickly that it's get to the point that you're trying to make. And then if it happens to be a little extra fluff, then it's cool. If y'all were listening kind of with my callers, they're having fun. Oh, I'm on. I got a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yes, sir.
It's packaged.
Yes, sir.
Here you are. Here's what I'm doing to you. Bye-bye. Here you are. Bye-bye. If you're listening, it sounds like a lot of stuff going on.
Yes, sir.
It's really quick.
Yes, sir.
Really quick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So.
Nothing worse than a caller who don't know what they want to say.
Yeah. Like the last one, I really literally had to help them. Is this the radio station? I'm like, okay, now I gotta play with your mind just a little bit. And say, I won't make that call no more, without knowing, but it's not to insult anybody. It's just Dr.Umar first off, sir, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man, I have had the opportunity of catching you a few times on the tube and sat back and said, you know what? My man is really thoughtful, insightful, inspirational. Never knew I was going to have the blessed opportunity of actually meeting you and shaking your hand. Tell me a little bit about what you're going to be focusing on this weekend, a little bit about what you think about the city of Shreveport, all of that, in maybe a condensed version.
Absolutely. Great people in Shreveport. Only been here once, a few weeks ago, January the 30th. Had the privilege of speaking at Booker T. Washington High School. A lot of love, a lot of messages, a lot of emails, a lot of inboxes from the brothers and sisters here in Shreveport and the immediate vicinity. Tomorrow, being an educator, being a psychologist, I'm definitely going to focus on what I refer to as the psychoacademicholocaust, which is the 6 stages of death, commonly referred to in the media as school-to-prison pipeline. That's miseducation, special education, psychiatric medication, juvenile incarceration, psychological frustration, alienation, and premature extermination.
See, y'all, you notice I paused. I want to make sure you
cut it out, brother Glenn.
You kind of got all of that inside the mind. Let it kind of illuminate there a little bit for a second. So, I just got to go there. Are there books coming out about this kind of thing? Because you said it so eloquently.
Yes, sir.
You got to have some books coming out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The one book that I have with me here in Shreveport is called Black Parent Advocate, The Art of War for Dealing with America's Public and Charter Schools. Right. That book focuses, Brother Quinn, on preparing our parents to be more effective when they go into the school to advocate for their child. Most parents don't know what to do when the school says he needs medicine or he can't come back. Most parents don't know that's illegal. When the school says we want to be evaluated for ADHD, most parents don't know that you can't prove ADHD objectively. When they say that we're going to expel your child for a given set of behaviors, some parents don't know that the behavior in question may not even be an expellable offense. They don't understand educational law. So I'm on a crusade to empower our parents with knowledge of the law so they can be more successful in the schools. Because what's going on in Shreveport public schools, Baton Rouge public schools, New Orleans public schools is an absolute travesty. And I would even call the miseducation of black children the greatest human rights abuse of the 21st century.
And as you were saying it, I was kind of going there in my mind thinking like, wait a minute, that's a whole nother plight.
Yes. Every time a black person is murdered, Brother Quinn, I think that the local school district should be indicted as an accomplice to the crime. Because if you don't miseducate the child, they never get to a point where they end up being incarcerated. Incarceration is a function of economic desperation. It's a function of psychological deprivation. And it's a function of a lack of social liberation.
Oh, man. So, how long are you staying in town?
As long as necessary, Brother Quinn. We got to wake them up. You got to wake them up.
But this kind of thing, see, we can't do this.
The soul of the black man and woman, it's sleeping. It's sleeping, Brother Quinn. A lot of our people have psychologically checked out because the lack of gains that we did not see during the Obama era led to political depression in the black community. And now Joe Biden is following right up with Barack Obama, having done nothing for black folks. So a lot of us are just going to go back to sleep and say, see, I got hype. I woke up for Obama. I woke up for Joe Biden. Neither one of them delivered anything to me, so I'm just going to go back to sleep. We can't allow them to go back to sleep, because when we go to sleep for decades. We go to sleep for millennium. And when we wake up, we're in a worse situation we're in than before we took the nap. We can't afford to sleep anymore.
Yeah.
Wake up and stay up.
So y'all, I mean, you're listening right now. I know you turned the radio up a little bit there. I know you did. I felt it. Tomorrow, the state of Shreveport. This man's going to be the featured guest speaker. How can you afford to miss this? I got a funny feeling that these words of inspiration and wisdom are priceless right now.
Absolutely, Brother Quinn.
In the conditions that we're living in right here in the 318 for sure.
And we also, Brother Quinn, got to recognize that the black bourgeoisie bears a significant portion of the responsibility for the struggling of the black underclass, because the white power structure after the assassination of Dr. King, April 4th, 1968, the white power structure reinvented itself by adding Negroes to its circle, who would be the go-between between them and the black folks in the ghetto. So you no longer get to approach the white power structure because the black watchdogs are the first people in your face.
Yeah. So, man, I kind of need my job now. so you hit them so hard right now. They saying, get off me.
It's true, Brother Quinn. It's true. It's true. You can't name a problem in black America. From Shreveport to Philly, from Brooklyn to Houston, you can't name a problem that white America has not introduced into black America that does not have a Negro that serves as the go-between, the liaison between the power structure and the black community, which is why I would argue that we really don't have black leaders. We have black deal brokers. They don't lead us anywhere. They just broker deals between the black poor and the white overclass. In other words, they distribute crumbs. They go to the master, they bring a crumb back. We get mad, they bring another crumb back. They a bunch of crumb snatchers, Brother Quinn. Crumb snatchers.
We go to music. Can you hang out with me by 5 more minutes?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
More old school and more R&B. Time to do it.
Oh, yeah. That was it, right?
Crumb snatchers, Brother Quinn. Crumb snatchers.
I got to explain it. Massa, he didn't know what he said, man.
Cut it out, Brother Quinn. Cut it out.
I ain't worried about that. I run this. I run all of this.
Cut it out.
Millions. I ain't worried about that.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
I'm the one that, my phone ain't gonna ring. Now, his phone might ring, but my phone ain't gonna ring.
Nah, CJ can handle it.
No, my phone not gonna. No. That's funny.
I'm trying to understand how Eminem takes a knee at the Super Bowl performance, Brother Quinn. The rest of them don't take a knee. You got 5 black performers.
I brought that up Monday,
nobody take a knee. The white boy takes a damn knee. That's a travesty, man.
I brought that up Monday, man.
That's a travesty. Eminem took a knee. Snoop ain't take no knee. Mary ain't take no knee. Dre ain't take no knee.
It got by so many people, they didn't even notice that it happened.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So I brought it up, and I'm like, y'all didn't even see that happen. You were so busy into the music, which I get, but you had to be very, very observant of everything that was going on.
Oh, man.
If they had took over the Capitol building like they tried to do, what was they going to do the next day?
Good question.
What were you going to do the next day?
I guess they was going to escort Trump back in the office.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? and what comes with that? Why would I was asking the same damn thing. I'm like, yeah, sure you were. But in a way, maybe they were. Because, you know, if you really step back and look at it and say, well, if you're going to reorganize the power structure of the country, what are you going to end up with?
Exactly.
Chaos.
And they got slaps on the wrist for that. If black folks would have done that, we'd have been mowed down like dogs.
Yeah, it would have been, we would have been.
A carnage.
Yes.
A carnage.
So
terrorists.
It would have been so ugly.
They never used the word terrorist with them.
Nah. Never. You know, I'm giving away these tickets to this comedy club over the weekend, and I think you done scared them, dog.
Cut it out, Brother Quinn. Cut it out.
I think You throw them a dose of reality to the point they're like, wait a minute, hold on now. Hold on.
But the comedy is good, Brother Quinn. Speaking from a psychological standpoint, it's important that black people are able to ease themselves because we deal with a lot as black people. As I was telling the Queen on the ride up here, racism itself is the leading cause of death for black people because any cause of death that you look at has racism in its etiology. If it's black on black crime, if it's heart disease, if it's stroke, if it's unemployment, no matter what the cause of death is, racism was the catalyst. So we need a place where we can go and relax because hypertension is one of the leading causes of death for black people, and that's nothing but stress that has not been released. Energy cannot be killed, only transformed. Get it out their system, Brother Quinn. Comedy therapy. Comedy as therapy.
Man, your folks got to be proud of you.
Actually, my family think I'm crazy because they're trying to find out why somebody with 6 degrees and a doctorate is running around here being a hellraiser instead of being a successful part of the black bourgeoisie.
Boy, I would like to be a fly on the wall at that family gathering.
What's wrong with you?
What happened to you? That's all good, man. So, give me an idea of what you say you've done a little research in reference to Shreveport and that kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
Well, what's your analysis of
Well, one of the things that bothered me when I came here on January the 30th was on a website for the school district. There was a picture of some national semi-finalist students who had excelled in a given area. And it was about maybe 12 to 16 students on the school district's website. And not one of them were black in the photo. So that bothered me because the school district that's predominantly black in terms of its student population, why do you have a poster on the website celebrating successful students, which is okay, but not a single African was amongst them? So what that's telling me is we don't care if the black children succeed as long as we have any child that's able to succeed. Miseducation is the most important part of marginalization, and it is the most important part of mass incarceration. If the schools don't fail, prisons cannot win.
Say that one more time.
If the schools don't fail, prisons cannot win.
You can't miss this brother right here tomorrow.